What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail. Welcome back if you're a returning visitor. If you're new here, strap in. We're going to be doing a tabletop discussion today. And shout out to the Dungeon Dudes because these guys have a really cool message that they just put out on their YouTube channel. The video is called Our Thoughts of the OGL Aftermath, and I'm going to have a link down below. You should go watch the whole thing. It's totally worth your time. And if you're not already doing so, make sure to like and subscribe to those guys over there. They got a lot of cool stuff. They do a lot of really nice D&D stuff. They've had their campaigns. They did the Kickstarter. Um, it's a place where you can find lots of really cool D&D related stuff over the years. But they just posted this post, and this is something that I've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. But it was really interesting to hear another content creator saying it in the way that they said it, and it made me want to put this video out. So let's actually listen to what they have to say real quick, because I think it's totally worth your time. So let's strap in. 3, 2, 1, and
One thing that has happened for me personally with this is I have now opened my eyes to the idea that the Dungeon Dudes don't just need to be a D&D channel, and I don't just need to be a D&D personality. I love tabletop role-playing games, and I've been looking at a lot of different systems for quite a while and playing them with my friends. You may have even seen a few on our channel. And so I will say that a silver lining to all of this for me is that now I'm excited to look at more than just D&D. But I'm also excited to be able to return back to D&D as well.
this is an interesting thing for me. So I have said publicly that one of the silver linings, as they say here, is out of all of this has come the opportunity to explore a lot of systems that we never had a chance to do before. In my case, it's mostly because I wasn't aware of all of these systems that were out there. I was aware of some, but not all. And in the discourse that has happened over the last month, I've heard a lot of new things. If it weren't for this, I wouldn't have started the Discovering Starfinder series here on my YouTube channel, because I never would have become interested in Starfinder, and I never would have been in a position to want or even be able to try Starfinder. But with the OGL thing happening, um, obviously we've pulled the OGL out of our tabletop product, and we are now licenseless, and we may keep it that way. We may decide to put the ORC in there once we see how the language for that's going to shape up. But the one thing that I took away from all of this is that I'm in a position where I have the opportunity now to explore lots of different things while we're waiting to see how all of this is going to completely unfold. Now, the other interesting thing that they have to say here is they also look forward to going back to Dungeons and Dragons. And this is where I wish some of the people who were tribal about their tabletop would stop doing that, because ultimately at the end of the day, all tabletop is the community, and that's the family. But there are a lot of people who, for some reason or another, I can't figure it out, seem to have genuine hatred for Dungeons and Dragons and or 5th edition in particular. I have seen some really nasty comments, and the only nasty comments I've been seeing on my channel actually have been from the anti 5th edition, anti Dungeons and Dragons crowd. And I just don't get it, because I'm in the same position as the Dungeon Dudes, because Dungeons and Dragons is many things to me. It's Dragonlance, it's Forgotten Realms, it's hundreds of novels that I've read over the course of my life, it's dozens of video games played over the course of my life, it's dozens of modules played over the course of my life, it is multiple players' handbooks, it's miniatures and miniature painting, it's all of these things. And D&D has done nothing but enrich my life and provide me with a source of entertainment that has continued on into my adult life. And I would hope that I can continue to get enjoyment from Dungeons and Dragons in some way, shape, or form until I'm on my deathbed. That being said, I will no longer be publishing anything that has anything to do with them and their OGL or anything else. That ship has already sailed. But I have way too much love for the franchises within Dungeons and Dragons. I've told people since the beginning of this chaos, I am not boycotting the company, even though I am specifically moving away from publishing material in their world. But there's a new book series that's in being published right now by Weiss and Hickman. There's Baldur's Gate 3 coming out from Larian Studios. There's a movie coming out. There's a TV show coming out in Forgotten Realms. These are all Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance things. There's additional video games being developed. These are worlds that I have grown up in and loved, and I'm not just going to walk away because the company and their management screwed up. A lot of people will say, yeah, but they also screwed up back in the whenever 20 years ago, and it's just proof that Wizards of the Coast, blah, 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 blah. Previous management screwed up. Current management is not the same as previous management, and I'm not going to put the sins of the father at the feet of the son. I'm upset about the OGL. I'm upset about what it did. It fractured the community that I've been a part of for so many years, and it put me in a lot of stress the first few weeks of January and forced us into a position of needing to take 2 years worth of work and strip all the OGL out and edit our books down and republish them without a license. I mean, it was a lot of chaos and a lot of stress, and I'm very unhappy with what happened, and I am absolutely 100% supporting the ORC Alliance, and I want to see what that language looks like. And I'm no longer going to be working with anything related to Wizards of the Coast in the future. But working with is different than enjoying games and having experiences with friends and family that I've grown up enjoying Dungeons and Dragons with. That's not something that's going to go away just because there was this misstep. And I think the people who want to see scorched earth are coming at it from a completely naive perspective. There's a beautiful part of this video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think it's the message to the community section. It may take us a minute to get there, so we're going to do a little bit of a listen to these guys, but they have a very important message that I think is very poignant to the point I'm trying to make here.
The past month.
As a final note, I want to thank this incredible community, not just the fans of our show and the other content creators who stepped up to voice their opinions during the last month, but I also do want to thank the incredible people at Wizards of the Coast who helped make these changes possible. There's a lot of people inside the company who helped get these documents out there, helped release information, and didn't want to see D&D go the way that it was going. There's also a lot of people working out there who have worked for Wizards of the Coast as writers and authors and artists and designers. And all of those people deserve our thanks as well for the amazing work that they have put into creating the success that Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition has seen up until this point.
I couldn't say it better. So I think that this is the takeaway from this video. Silver lining is that we're getting to explore lots of new things, right? But just because there was a screw up with management, it doesn't mean we should try to burn the building down around all of these employees, as they are mentioning, who are innocent in this thing. These people didn't want to see Dungeons and Dragons ruined. They're just the normal people doing art, doing design, doing marketing, doing social media management, customer service. These are the innocent employees who are just game developers and game designers who love Dungeons and Dragons. That's why they're working there. They love Dungeons and Dragons. And there are people within that Wizards of the Coast structure who have been at the forefront of trying to make sure that this corporate misstep wasn't allowed to go through. And those people need to be celebrated. They definitely need to be considered. And they definitely need to be thanked. And I think this is an important message to remind everyone that at the end of the day, tabletop is a community. It's more than just Dungeons and Dragons, even though that's like the number one game that most people associate with tabletop. It's a lot of different systems and a lot of different games, and all of those other systems and games are having a chance to be more well known right now because of the current chaos. And that's all well and good, but we shouldn't be wanting to scorch the earth around Wizards of the Coast because of a corporate misstep. And I know some people aren't going to be able to accept that. Some people have their opinions that the only way to teach them a lesson is to burn it all to the ground, and if we sacrifice a few jobs along the way, that's just how it is. I don't have that viewpoint. I am definitely in the same camp as the Dungeon Dudes of thanking those people and reminding everyone that It's all a community at the end of the day. Nobody wants to see Dungeons and Dragons die. We just want to see things go back to the way it was before when everything was going swimmingly and everyone was celebrating everything. So maybe we get to that point again. I don't know how, I don't know when. It's going to be a long road back to them earning the trust of the community back along the way. But again, like I said, I can't say it better than these guys did. So thanks to the Dungeon Dudes for their thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon over on their channel. Follow the links to that video are down below. Watch the whole thing. It's about 20 minutes long. Lots of good information in there for those of you who want to give it a listen. And if you like my stuff, you like my take on things, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon here. Support if you can with super chats, super stickers, memberships. Of course, our Patreon page for our point and click adventure game, tabletop world, and book series, and our Discord. All the links are down there. Thanks everybody for listening to me and giving me, 15 minutes or whatever it is out of your day. Until next time, stay safe. Happy gaming.